GitHub so everybody can see it. So basically, the logic is simple.
This call is now being recorded.
Basically, the logic is simple. Let's say you are picking up something from Twitter, any kind of input that you are picking up from Twitter, whatever it is that we search for. Let me share my screen so at least. And Divyansh, you please see that earlier video. I think you've already seen it.
Yes, sir, I've seen it.
That one is
Using based on Gardner Incorporation, right? That one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
देख लिए वो देख लिए.
So let's say, and I'll just quickly just demonstrate that again. I'll share my screen. Okay. So now let's say you were to look for again the same thing that we did that day, Infosys. Okay. And I look for Infosys as a term. So using the TWEP, this thing, we'll get some query of this sort. This sort of query will go and hit the TWEP, this thing, wherein we are searching for Infosys. Okay. And with Infosys, this starts coming up. So this, okay, so there is somebody who's doing some, some politics. Somebody is doing Infosys का नाम उसमें डाल रखा है. ठीक है. बीच में here's the second edition of webinar series for initiative. We had the opportunity to. Okay, now here is again some, I don't know what they're doing. So there'll be a lot of things, okay. So, but ultimately what we want, and as part of the PyFinTrader project is, I don't know, what is this accounting X something. So which is okay, so people will post whole lot of things, okay. But what will happen is, we want some kind of information about either Infosys projects, or we want information about Infosys, some kind of performance, or whatever is there. So what usually happens is that there are certain accounts which will, which will come out when we do the social network analysis. Essay to search for those accounts becomes a headache. But when we do the SNA and we do that graphing, immediately those accounts will come up and we'll be able to understand that yes, these are the accounts that we need to focus on. We will harvest tweets only from those accounts, and then we will, once we've harvested tweets only from those accounts, then we are very, very clear that this is where our information lies. Then there were, earlier calls also we did, and there were a lot of suggestions that let's do sentiment analysis, let's do this, that. We don't want to do that. We want to do a very, very, basic level rule-based extraction of text from these tweets and bucket our information. That is one. That is the first thing. Okay. So here, some kind of time series analysis and all those things will come into play. But again, this is not the major thing for time series analysis. So as far as Shubham is concerned, what Shubham has done till now, he's gotten into TWEP. He's basically got these tweets. He's not been able to create the SNA. So SNA we guys will do together. So that is the second step that we need to do, the SNA part of it. Okay. Once the SNA is done, we basically understand what are the network maps for these organizations. So it is not only Infosys, there'll be about 100 organizations that we'll do, and we'll automate the entire process. Automate to the extent that we just provide our, within Django, one or two scripts which will be there. We'll just provide them a list, which will be a list of 100 organizations, and they should automatically go ahead, create the social network, and also harvest tweets from the social network and put all of those relevant tweets into our either MongoDB or into our this thing.
Yes,
yeah. So from SNA to Mongo, and then from there to say extract something into SQL, and then do some analysis. So this is the first step. Once this first step is finished, then we'll know ki, okay, fine, what kind of information is coming through. When I did this thing 4 or 5 years back, again, things might have matured from then. That time Twitter was not such a powerful platform. Things were different. One of you needs to be on mute, otherwise we'll get an echo. So those things are there. So now, let's say that is one part of it that we take care of, and that part is closed. Hi Rishi, you joined. Great. Divyansh has already kind of introduced you. You just follow along on the call, whatever you can. Whenever you want to say something, just please put it in the chat. Then you can unmute yourself and participate in this. So I'll just quickly go through the rest of the thing. Now, This is as far as the SNA part of it goes. Now, when you come specifically to the PyFinTrader and you specifically come to the time series analysis and other things, there'll be there will be one is simple stock this thing stock analysis which is there, that I have already put a thing here, that you pick up a few tickers and you start off. I already put an issue here. Okay, so that is one basic way of looking at things. Yeah. Okay, so if you guys look at
We
this,
saw
so
this.
hello, yeah.
Yeah. We saw this.
Acha, Divyansh is saying you saw this. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that is one basic way of doing things. So there again, picking up ticker data not only from here, from Yahoo Finance, from a whole lot of things. We can easily scrape data. Even if you don't want to scrape data, you just basically go into sites XHR this thing. So most of them, they will upload from XHR. So you go and automate something on the front end from Selenium, which will go and activate that XHR, and it will come through. So some of that I have it lying somewhere, so I can share that with you. That is not very difficult stuff. So data will come through to us. But the point is, this kind of work a lot of people are already doing, so it will not be much of value add. Then we will have to tie this up along with the social pulse. So the social pulse will come from where? It will come from SNA, well, the post SNA Twitter this thing, and the scraped market this thing will come from here. So once we start connecting these two, and we start saying ki, ha, okay, something is there, then it will be something like just give me a second. I think it is Economic Times or somebody who does that. तो हम लोगों की आदतें नहीं सुधरती, मतलब बंदा साइट खोल ले तो then you start bombarding him with whole lots of funny stuff. इतना cluttered साइट है कि कुछ देखना ही मुश्किल है. They give a ticker somewhere and then they give a social this thing on that. वो मेरे को अभी नहीं मिल रहा है. They give a very beautiful time series graph, and under which they give you things like, this is what happened. How I remember this is that when I about a year back, when I was seeing this, that issue happened in Infosys, wherein that I don't know who's that, their MD or somebody from North India who took over. So there was some issue, and there was a lot of stuff happening. So these guys had mentioned very clearly that this is what has happened, and because of this thing happening, this has got there is a impact, there's a sentiment impact on their stock. So it has not got to do with the internal performance of the organization, but perception of people that because of this there will be a shake up, or because of this there will be some issues happening within the organization and things like that. So some of that you will pick up from here, some of that you'll pick up from by scraping this, and then we'll have to connect those dots. That is one thing. This is where this particular call's agenda ends. And within PyFinTrader, like PyFinTrader, we've already kind of discussed a couple of times earlier. So this will be the social listening part of it. So this will be one. Then of course that within the application, what is happening within the application, there will be time series and other things which will be there. And those are basically these issues. Random forest for credit risk modeling, or maybe again, so this of course is this only. Okay, so this will be for PyFinTrader. We are doing social network analysis and Twitter TWP and this mining. So now you tell me what are your questions and what are your suggestions. I'll go on mute.
So one doubt, Rohit. Like, how are we integrating this in our DC platform?
Okay. within DC, it will be one app which will be there. So PyFinTrader will be one app within the entire project. Till the time we reach a certain situation wherein we are ready to host it somewhere and give it production public access. Then it will be a standalone app. We'll split the backend front end on two different Django servers,
Okay.
and we'll host it separately. So maybe
So DC will be a separate app, and PyFinTrader will be another standalone project.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
See, what I'm trying to do is because PyFinTrader will end up using some methods from DC. DC as such will not use anything from PyFinTrader. So when we are okay, when we've coded it enough and we've tested it enough and things like that, then we'll just separate the app so that there's nothing much which will be required.
Okay.
And we will develop it from the point of view that there is no dependence. If there is dependence, let's say we code it like this in Django, that one app is dependent on the other and there is some khichdi happening on the DB side or something, that will not be okay. So we are within them, within the Django project, we are keeping the apps very, very exclusive to this thing. We are maintaining a very exclusive database for them. So that will have to go on that way only.
Okay.
You sent me some papers, right, regarding stock correlation. So now that we are talking about directly scraping the data from certain areas, so like for example, as of now, are we not looking into those kind of research? Like, aren't we going to go for some researches, more research paper as to how the trends are going nowadays for this extracting more data? Yeah. So.
See, the ones which I've shared with you, those have got to do with this particular task. So if this task we look at, this one on top. So ultimately we are scraping data, whether we scrape data from NSE, whether we scrape data from some, let's say the US stock, this thing or wherever. Ultimately, we will have to scrape data and then understand that. Most of the papers that I shared with you were, I think, with regards to more on the time series side or something, but I don't remember. I remember I've shared all of that with you, and I've noted it down also somewhere.
Yeah, they were time series. They were based on time series.
Correct. So, see, time series is not such a simple thing like, what we might consider it right now. And those books that I shared with you, I shared those books with Divyansh also.
Yes.
Time series, our knowledge of time series has to be very, very advanced. Then only we can go into production with something. Otherwise, we'll get, we'll get pushed back. People will not worry. So another thing, let me give you an example. I don't remember the name of the organization. What also people are doing is that let's say I have a prediction for a particular ticker. I've done whatever homework I'm supposed to do, whether using time series or any other this thing. I'll go and I have a prediction for a certain ticker. I might have also taken in some social. I must have done some social listening also, and two things I've done. So one is I'm doing prediction just on their actual stock price or whatever is publicly available. Or I'm also doing social listening and I'm giving certain weightage somewhere saying, okay, this is a good news, so maybe we'll see a reaction a week down the line, or this is a good news, we might see a reaction tomorrow only, or whatever. So what people are doing is they're posting it out on their Twitter, people are posting it out on their LinkedIn, and over a period of time when people start seeing in the sense publicly people start seeing that these guys recommended something and that has actually become a reality in a day or two, then people start saying, okay, fine, these guys are predicting much better. Then putting that thing into production will be much better. Otherwise, production means what? You will end up having a website somewhere wherein a person probably has to create a login and join, or even without creating a login joins. What is that person ultimately getting? Right, the person might not initially start using his so specifically in the case of time series, or specifically in the case of market stock data, forget about other things in PyFinTrader right now, the product and all that stuff, just forget that for a minute. Just if you were to offer this as an offering, a person will ultimately just take those points from you and go and trade somewhere. Okay. Somebody was saying something? Okay. So you will just pick up those points from us and go and trade somewhere. So why not just start offering those, advice even before you go ahead and deploy in production? You can have a dedicated Twitter handle where you are providing that advice for maybe 10 different stocks, 20 different stocks. And how are you getting that information? Because you already kind of productized that thing. You already created that internal app which is giving you that information. Okay. And this is not very difficult to do. I've done this kind of things earlier also. वो अगर focus करके code करेंगे वो that max to max एक दो हफ्ते में होता है. ठीक है? That's not a very big deal. Um, uh, Having said this, then when you go into production with that, then people are already aware. Hi, yaar, these guys are doing this. Let's go and maybe let me subscribe to it. Then also they might not want to come to your website. Nobody in today's date visits a website. Okay, so they'll probably want a WhatsApp alert, or they will want what's that other thing, Telegram alert, or they'll maybe even want a email alert or whatever. So then you have to create this WhatsApp bot of yours, or a Telegram bot, or a email. Email तो चलो ठीक है, Django से हो जाएगा. That's no big deal. So you're pushing alerts to people who have subscribed to it. Okay. Or people who have not even subscribed to it. Maybe they're not paying you anything, but they've just gone ahead and registered a free account. So that's how it will work over a period of time. Then on the other side is the PyFinTrader, this thing, the app which is being used by the finance people, right? So this kind of thing, the random forest for credit risk modeling. Somebody wants to do credit risk modeling in today's date. The person, there's so many organizations in India, at least 500 micro lenders, I am sure, are there who have started doing micro lending. So what are they doing? They are ultimately doing credit risk modeling, and they are offering credit to people who are not credit worthy from a bank because of whatever reason. Okay. So let's say I'm somebody who does not have an income tax record, or I'm somebody who's in a small town, a small time farmer, or whatever, or maybe whatever it is, that I've taken enough loans from the banks are refusing me. So there are so many organizations who in today's date do some kind of basic credit risk modeling and offer them a credit line. Okay. So that kind of organization, so I'm not saying we'll become that organization and start giving out loans, but that kind of organization wants to use something of this sort. If this thing becomes something really robust. And what is happening in today's date in those organizations is that they have hired people like you and me, and they're paying them 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs in a year, and those people are just sitting there. तो वो एक बारी उसने credit risk modeling का model बना दिया, next time that guy doesn't have any work. So either that guy moves out, or that guy stays back and does something really funny. I've spoken with such people. I know such people. वो कहता है यार क्या कर रहा है वो, he's creating some Docker image. He's doing some. वो कह रहा है मेरा काम तो ये है, मैं वो सब कुछ कर रहा हूँ अभी. So you get my point. So those people will end up using this as a product. कि हाँ ठीक है, this is what it is. They need not hire those people and keep them within the organization. Does this make sense?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So now again, so there'll be more of these PyFinTrader ones. Some of them will be listening externally and offering people advice. Some of them will be part of a product which people can use, people who are already part of the finance this thing function and things like that. And that is what we will do. Abhi, Shubham, those two things, I think sorry, one thing I told you to remind me that you've already done that. You also asked me about that documents that I've shared with you. Besides anything coming to your mind right now?
No, I think that's all you told me to like remind about. Yeah.
So now, what is the next steps you guys want to take? And I'm okay with Rishi and Divyansh collaborating with you. What is it that you want to take as the next step?
So I was thinking, rather than just, as you told, the agenda here is distributing tasks. So if we could work on like parallelly on the same task, like some of us then like from this group, then it would be helpful, I think, because if we are stuck, we can actually help each other and go forward in that way. Otherwise, if we are totally in separate domains, for example, in the same task, if someone is doing the first part, someone is doing the second part, so it is very like you need the data too. That's okay. But what I was telling that if we work on the same task, then it would be helpful for both of us. Like we can go forward in less time. So
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with any way you guys want to do this.
yeah,
And see, I'm telling you right now, you might think कि हाँ ठीक है ये clear है what we guys need to do. But again, maybe when you start coding, you'll get stuck. So whenever you get stuck, you immediately get in touch with me. So I
yeah,
don't want you to spend more than half an hour, 1 hour stuck on something. Okay, half an hour, 1 hour. Say you Google. Let's say you Google something also. Then also it's not turning up. You come back to me immediately after that. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And the other thing is, Divyansh might be working at 2 a.m. in the night. Shubham might be working at 5 p.m. in the evening. Rishi might be working at some other time. So how you guys want to coordinate that? That is one thing you will have to work on. Besides that, I don't have an issue. And immediately reach out to me.
Yeah, that won't be an issue. We'll be collaborating. Like we'll figure that out, and time thing won't be an issue.
Yeah, yeah.
Acha, and again, I keep repeating myself on this, but I need to. You guys understand? I don't, the prospective client and all that stuff is just still hanging in the air. So only devote time which you can voluntarily. Ki, haan, yes, I'm learning something. I want to devote time. I'm doing this because there, under no circumstances can we just take whatever is raw right now and go and tell somebody, yeah, please, take aap ye kar lo. The guys who will be involved in these things, they would probably be ahead of us. The guys who are not involved in this thing are just doing Django website or something this that. वो कभी भी इन चीजों में पैसा नहीं डालेंगे, उनको समझ में ही नहीं आएगा. ठीक है. So we are in a unique situation. So either we have to take it towards some kind of I won't even say minimum viable product, but some kind of a decent offering in the market, or then nothing will happen. So this we need to be very clear on. Yes, all of you are clear on this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Rishi, thanks. Perfect. So now let me know what you need from me. Discuss amongst yourselves. I think this Google Meet is good, or whichever way, Zoom or whatever it is that you guys want to do. And immediately let me know कि ये हमने decide किया है. This is what we are going to do, and this is the help you can do. I'll share whatever code, whatever books I can, and when you come back to me, there are a lot of these, this kind of things that I've done. So I'll give you some practical advice. So immediately come back to me. Don't wait too long to come back to me.
Okay, sure.
Perfect. Okay. So we done with the call then?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks. Bye, Divyansh. Bye, Rishi. Rishi, welcome. I'll add you to Slack also, and I'll
Sure.
you just share your GitHub this thing with me. I'll add you to GitHub also.
Sure.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.